Highlights from the Mayor's State of the City address, important news regarding travel on Main Street over the next year, and a new way to register for summer camp. We invite you to join us now as we take you inside City Hall this week. Hello, I'm Amy Blaylock. Welcome to City Hall this week, dedicated to keeping you informed about what's going on inside Durham City Hall. We begin with Mayor Bill Bell's State of the City address and his look back at the achievements of the past year, as well as his goals for 2012. Mayor Bell delivered his address before the February 6th City Council meeting, outlining his 4 areas of focus for the year ahead. The first goal he wants to achieve is to reduce violent crime. Mayor Bell says that with the help of a group of city and county officials and community leaders, a plan is being developed to reduce gun violence in Durham.
We've already begun to implement steps to tackle violent crime in 2012 as a result of our meetings. The reduction of crime in our city is one of the highest priorities for me as mayor. We will be holding larger meetings sometime in March to engage a broader section of the community, which I hope will include members of the faith-based community in this violent crime reduction effort.
Mayor Bell believes one of the keys to reducing gun violence is to set a higher bail bond standard for people who illegally discharge guns in Durham.
I'm therefore tonight asking our city attorney to bring to the City Council for our consideration legislation to be presented to our local delegation and to the General Assembly that will make it illegal to discharge a gun in the city limits for whatever purposes deemed to be illegal, and which will allow magistrates at a first hearing to set the bail bond for such an action at a minimum of $300,000.
The city's second goal will be a continued focus on neighborhood revitalization.
I'm convinced, and I continue to be strongly of the opinion, that strong neighborhoods make for a strong city. And I hasten to add that neighborhood revitalization is just not about housing, but it involves whole quality of life issues, such as jobs, safety and transportation, access to health facilities, recreation, and the physical appearance of a community. Our goal must be to make sure all neighborhoods are attractive, livable, and crime-free.
The third focus for the city in 2012 will be ensuring affordable housing for Durham's residents.
And a couple of ways that I believe we can reach that objective is one, by having a dedicated revenue stream for mixed-income affordable housing. And I hope that we on the City Council, along with the administration, can have further discussions on ways to establish this dedicated revenue stream in the coming months. The second area is by strengthening our partnership with the Durham Housing Authority, who does good work. I think we can, in a more coordinated fashion, provide affordable housing in our community. And we must do this because federal cuts are impacting us at the local level, and it just makes more sense to coordinate our housing efforts. The Durham Housing Authority can't do it alone.
Mayor Bell says the fourth goal will be sustainable job development and creation.
Now, the primary role of the city is not to create jobs, but we can and do serve as a catalyst to create the environment for the private sector and other public and nonprofit sectors to create and expand jobs in our community. In 2011, working in partnership with the Greater Durham Chamber of Commerce and Durham County government, we assisted over 70 companies who announced more than 4,400 jobs. Most of those nearly 4,400 jobs between 2010 and 2011 were in high-growth industries such as healthcare, information technology, and life sciences. In 2011, we were able to place over 2,000 people in jobs that registered with the Durham JobLink Career Center system, and I want the city to do more of that in 2012. We must also place more focus on the types of jobs and the types of job training needed to help decrease the vast discrepancy in unemployment among African Americans.
Those are just some of the highlights from the Mayor's State of the City address. For more, visit the city's website at durhamnc.gov. Of course, the achievement of many of the goals outlined by Mayor Bell relies on receiving appropriate funding through the city's annual budget. As city leaders decide which programs and policies should receive top priority in the next spending plan, they want to hear from you. If you're interested in giving your input directly to the City Council on the 2012-2013 fiscal budget, please attend one of the Coffee with Council meetings that will be held throughout February into March. Those meetings will be held on Saturday, February 18th from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. at the Holton Career and Resource Center's Child Care Center. Thursday, March 8th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. in the City Hall Committee Room. Saturday, March 10th from 10 a.m. to noon at the Lyon Park Community Family Life and Recreation Center. Monday, March 12th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at the Durham Public Schools Resource Center. And a community engagement workshop on Saturday, March 3rd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Holton Career and Resource Center. Registration is required for the workshop. To RSVP, call 560-4111 by February 27th. There will also be 2 budget public hearings held on Monday, March 5th and on Monday, June 4th. As the city sets its own spending priorities for the coming year, it is also developing a plan for how federal funds will be spent to address housing and community development needs in Durham. The first of 2 public hearings on the annual action plan for the 2012-2013 fiscal year was held during the City Council's February 6th meeting.
Durham is an entitlement community, which means that it receives 3 major grants. And those major grants are a Community Development Block Grant, which we refer to as CDBG, a Home Investments Partnership Program, which we refer to as HOME, and Emergency Solutions Grant, which we refer to as ESG, annually. As a recipient of those funds from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, which we refer to as HUD, the city is required to provide a detailed plan of how it expects to allocate and use those funds for the upcoming fiscal year.
During the public hearing, representatives from organizations providing affordable housing, public services, and assistance to those who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless made their case for funding.
The needs public hearing is held annually as a part of a HUD requirement. Again, as a recipient of those funds, the city is required to hold at least 2 public hearings, one being held early in the development of the plan, which is the needs public hearing, which allows the citizens of Durham to comment on the needs as it relates to the use of the federal dollars for the CDBG, Home, and Emergency Solutions Grants funds.
City staff says that with the climate of federal programs, the city, along with other entitlements, are facing decreases in their annual allocations.
We can anticipate at least a 12% cut as it relates to CDBG and possibly a 32% cut in our Home Investment Partnerships Program, which ultimately we anticipate receiving approximately at this time, and this is just preliminary data from HUD, we can expect to receive approximately $1.6 million in Community Development Block Grant funds, approximately $761,000 in home funds, and $80,000 in Emergency Solutions Grant funds, which is going to make it very challenging as we relate to trying to address the needs of the Durham community.
Over the next few months, city leaders will take the input they've received from the public and decide how this year's money should be spent. Another public hearing will be held in April when the draft version of the plan is presented to the council. If you want to get an overview of just some of the things the city accomplished last year, we invite you to watch the 2011 annual report video. The video was first shown before the February 6th council meeting and is now available to watch on demand on Durham Government Television or DTV8 and on YouTube. For more information, visit the DTV8 homepage on the city's website at durhamnc.gov. A new program geared toward reducing the amount of pollution that's reaching Falls Lake is about to get underway. The city has received a $242,000 grant that will go toward the launch of the Rain Catchers program, which could include the installation of rain gardens like those already installed in the Northeast Creek watershed.
Rain Catchers is a pilot project in the Ellerby Creek watershed to install small backyard stormwater practices that are designed to improve water quality in the creek. The practices are planting trees, planting native flowers, putting in cisterns, which are large rain barrels that catch the rainwater from your roof, and putting in rain gardens, which are bowl-shaped gardens that catch and soak in rainwater.
The rain catcher practices will also help to reduce the rush of rainwater that flows to the creek during a storm.
We're closely monitoring the results of the rain catchers practices on the creek, and if the program is successful, it will help the city to meet its water quality goals for Ellerby Creek and Falls Lake.
The selection process for homes that will participate in the project begins in March.
Residents that are eligible for rain catchers will receive a mailing that describes the program and how to get involved. Some of the neighborhoods included are Old West Durham and parts of Walltown, Trinity Heights, Trinity Park, and Watts Hospital, Hillendale. Now, if you're not in one of those neighborhoods, but this sounds interesting, the city is working in other areas of the city to install free rain gardens. Currently, we are accepting applications for residents in the Third Fort Creek watershed. That area covers from Moorhead Montessori, R.N. Harris, and Burton Elementary Schools, southward through Hillside Park and Rockwood, down through Hope Valley and Hope Valley Farms to Woodcroft.
To find out more about the Rain Catcher program or how to receive a free residential rain garden if you're in the Third Fort Creek watershed, visit the Stormwater homepage on the city's website. You can also visit the Stormwater Facebook page at facebook.com/DurhamNC Stormwater. If you think traffic on I-40 is bad, there's a new reason to try transit. Find out why buses may be passing you on the shoulder of the interstate when City Hall this week continues.
Get on board the Bull City Connector, a fare-free route connecting Durham from the innovation of Duke to the history of downtown to the creativity of Golden Belt. The Bull City Connector is fare-free, frequent, and fun, connecting visitors, business travelers, students, and downtown workers to key destinations in and around Durham. So get on board the Bull City Connector Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to midnight, plus Saturdays and holidays. For more information, call 485-RIDE or visit bullcityconnector.org.
Nothing like a cold drink. But think about it. Soda, sweet tea, and other sugary drinks are full of calories, and nutrients, none. Zip, zilch, nada. Next time you're thirsty, rethink your drink. Your body will thank you.
What we do to the planet, we do to ourselves. You can help keep America beautiful. Visit KAB.org.
Welcome back. The trial period for using text to 911 technology in Durham has been extended. The trial period for allowing Verizon Wireless customers to send a text message to 911 for emergency help was supposed to have ended on January 31st. That period has now been extended to April 30th. The Emergency Communications Center is trying to determine whether this is a good option for people who are hearing impaired or for potential victims who can't afford for someone to hear them make a 911 voice call. Mass transit customers who ride the buses on Interstate 40 in Durham will soon be part of a Bus on Shoulder pilot program. The City Council received an update on what the program is and why it's needed during its January 19th work session by the North Carolina Department of Transportation.
And we do want to maintain the long-term viability of I-40.
NCDOT representatives say the Bus on Shoulder system has proven in other states that it's an effective way of helping to maintain an efficient mass transit system.
Bus on Shoulders is operation of public transit buses on the shoulder and low speeds during congestion. Bus on shoulder systems refers to a network of roadways. Right now we're just focusing on I-40.
The basic operating rules for the pilot program deal primarily with the speed of the buses when they're on the shoulder.
They can only use the shoulder when the travel speeds in the main lanes are below 35 miles per hour. And in addition, the bus cannot travel any faster than 15 miles per hour than the vehicles that are in the lane.
It is also important to note that the program is a secondary use of the interstate shoulder.
We have the shoulders as a department for breakdown lane for emergency operations. We have it for emergency vehicles so they can get around stop traffic as well. As a result, the buses must yield to everything in the shoulder, and that does not change.
The actual pilot segments will be located on the following portions of I-40.
And westbound from NC 147 to US 15501, in the eastbound direction from 15501 back to Page Road. Both pilot segments are located entirely within Durham County.
The pilot program is expected to be implemented by later this spring. For more information, visit letsgetmoving.org. Motorists who travel along Main Street between 9th Street and Buchanan Boulevard are in for some big changes in the coming year. Starting in mid-February, a significant waterline replacement project, along with 2 other major projects, will begin impacting travel through the area to varying degrees. The other 2 projects include the replacement of the Main Street Bridge over Campus Drive and the resurfacing of Main Street that will extend from 9th to Peabody Streets. The waterline project will narrow Main Street, but two-way traffic will be maintained with 2 lanes.
This is the 36-inch water line. It's replacing the original 12-inch water line back from the 1880s that now runs from the Williams plant into downtown. There's also, I think in the early 1900s, they built the parallel 20-inch line, so those lines run pretty close together, and both of those lines are hanging off the bridge on Main Street over Campus Drive, and the key element of having the bridge work done is to get those water lines relocated. It also is replacing a 24-inch line, which is on the south side of the railroad tracks. When this is complete, we'll be able to take all of those lines out of service. The waterline project is expected to be finished by late summer. After the new waterline is in place, the replacement of the Main Street Bridge can begin. This NCDOT project is expected to affect motorists the most because the only practical way to replace the bridge is to close the street. Once the closure begins, the primary detour route will be the freeway.
So if you're coming from the west heading downtown on Main Street, the detour would be to turn right on Swift to the freeway, get on the freeway, exit at Chapel Hill Street, make a left on Chapel Hill Street to either Duke or Gregson, depending on to Duke Street to get back to Main. If you're coming from downtown and going west, you would turn left on Gregson to Chapel Hill Street, right on Chapel Hill Street to the freeway, freeway to Swift, Swift back to Main Street.
The demolition of the bridge could possibly start as late as the fall and could take anywhere between 6 and 12 months. After the bridge is replaced, the resurfacing of Main Street can be completed.
As part of that, we will be restriping, the street will be restriped and put on a road diet with 1 lane in each direction, a center turn lane, and bike lanes on both sides.
Since the bridge replacement and resurfacing are NCDOT projects, no city funding will be needed for either of them. Some students at a Durham elementary school are going high-tech. Find out how an important partnership with the city is giving these students a whole new perspective on the world around them. When City Hall This Week continues. Welcome back. Thanks to an innovative partnership with the city, students at Holt Elementary School are going high-tech. The Neighborhood Improvement Services Department and the Technology Solutions Department were able to take a Geographic Information System, or GIS, into the classroom on January 27th.
As part of the GIS program, Technology Solutions staff will provide a short age-appropriate lecture to the students to sort of give them an idea of how GIS has transformed through the use of technology. In the past, we've been used to dealing with maps as sort of a one-dimensional flat item that we look at. With this new GIS technology that we'll be sharing with the students, they'll have an opportunity to see how maps can show different things, like streets with the street labels, schools with where the schools are located, and even the size of an acre or a park. And they'll get an idea to see some of these things in action on the GIS system. So after the lecture, each student had the opportunity to have hands-on experience using some of the GIS mapping applications.
Activities that will hopefully lead to a better understanding of how GIS can be a useful tool in everyday life.
It's important because it gives students an idea of all of the possible ways that they can learn and live today. Again, it provides another opportunity for them to be able to visualize the environment around them and to have a tool that they can use not just at school but also at home.
City staff says it was important for them to be a partner in this type of program because it helps to prepare students for the future.
The city knows that engaged students create engaged employees and engaged residents. We feel like this is a great opportunity to spark learning in our children and to help them become successful leaders in our community in the future.
About 100 fifth grade students were able to take part in the program. The Parks and Recreation Department is making it easier than ever for your children to play more this summer. For the first time, online registration will be available for summer camp.
Online registration will hopefully make registering for summer camp easier in that it provides an option, an additional option, for folks wanting to register for our camps. We are aware that we have customers who are working that day or may have child care issues or just may be physically uncomfortable standing in a line. And this provides them with that additional option to register from home.
Camp programs are offered from June 18th to August 17th at recreation centers throughout the city.
We offer full-day programs with a variety of themes ranging from technology to arts and theater to sports and fitness. We also have adventure and nature camps and several programs for children with special needs.
Registration opens March 24th from 9 until 1 p.m. and can be completed either online or in person at program sites.
Online registration will run alongside our in-person registration. March 24th is the opening day of registration for both. They will open at the same time, but registration is ongoing throughout the spring and summer as long as we have spaces available.
In order to register online, you will need to set up a Play More account with Parks and Recreation.
If you're a customer who's participated with us in the last 2 to 3 years, you already have an account with us that you'll be able to use online. That process is as simple as going to our Play More online site, clicking Login and Forgot Password. You put in your email address and the site will email you your login ID and your PIN that you can use to register with programs. If you're brand new to Durham Parks and Recreation and you've never done anything with us before, you will click on the Play More online site link that says Request New Account, fill out the information and it'll generate your account. It does take 2 to 3 days to process a new account request so that we can verify it as a brand new account and not an existing account. And we ask that customers be patient with that process. We want to make sure we don't duplicate anybody's information.
If you are a new Parks and Recreation customer, it's recommended that you go ahead and set up your account before March 24th, so you will have all of your information in place when camp registration opens. To register online, go to the Play More website at dprplaymore.org. Durham youth wanting to find a job for the summer should mark an important date on their calendars now. The Mayor's Summer Youth Job Fair will be held on February 24th and will offer young people a chance to connect with potential employers.
The Mayor's Summer Youth Work Program provides opportunities for youth ages 14 to 21.
The job fair will give applicants a chance to put their best foot forward for representatives of many of the partnering businesses and organizations.
The job fair is an annual event which is held to allow youth the opportunity to meet and possibly speak with employers. It is also an opportunity for them to get assistance with completing the application process.
And if you know of someone who's interested in the program, applications are now available.
Potential applicants may go online and visit the city's website to view the application. They may also come in City Hall into our HR department and complete applications there.
Again, the job fair will be held on February 24th at the Holton Career and Resource Center. The times will be from 1 until 3 p.m. for 14 and 15-year-old youth and from 4 until 6 p.m. for 16 to 21-year-old youth. Another milestone for waste reduction in Durham. Find out how successful events like this are truly making a difference when City Hall This Week continues.
For every one of these spots, there are at least 5 to 24 others for you to use. Many folks think that people with disabilities are getting special treatment with these parking spaces, but it's really a safety issue, not a convenience. Many drivers backing out of a parking space can't see a person with a disability. Remember, accessible parking is a civil right built on safety. For more information, call the Americans with Disabilities Act Information Center at 800-949-4232.
Yeah, I'm almost there. I just gotta find that cross street.
Whoa! Stop!
Solid waste collection employees have the 5th highest fatality rate in the United States, but there are other people who care about them.
He's my husband.
He's my brother.
He's my dad.
He's my son.
Be alert, watch the road, and slow down to get around. This message is brought to you by the National Solid Waste Management Association and the Occupational Safety and Health Administration.
Once you get the hang of it, you're gonna love using the 111 water and money saving tips at durhamsaveswater.org.
Welcome back. Many of you started the year off by cleaning up and cleaning out, and you're not the only ones who are benefiting. Hundreds of people chose to participate in a paper shredding, e-waste, and Christmas tree recycling event on January 14th. Because of that, approximately 51 tons of waste have now been disposed of properly, as opposed to filling up our landfills. 103 Christmas trees were also collected. Durham residents who couldn't make this event can still safely and conveniently recycle their old electronics at the city's Waste Disposal and Recycling Center, located at 2115 East Club Boulevard. That does it for this edition of City Hall This Week. Be sure to like DTV8 on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to find out how you can tune into this show, City Life, and all the city's programming. You can also find us on demand on the city's website at durhamnc.gov/DTV8. I'm Amy Blaylock. Thank you for joining us for City Hall This Week.